Hello, 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 and welcome to a brand new devlog from TreeFall Studios. Guys, I am super excited about this one. Welcome to Journey of a Special Average Balloon. Guys, this is a crazy video here. If you've been following along with our progress on the channel, you know that I am leaving the Unity game engine. It has become too costly, and I assume that it will continue getting to be more expensive for full-time dev use, so we're going to be moving to a new engine soon. And in order to do that, I've been undertaking a massive challenge of trying to get out 6 different game projects all in the course of 3 months. And you know, granted, these are not 6 games that are all being developed from scratch in those 3 months. Most of these games were started all the way back into 2022, and they've been worked on for years, trading in and out on projects, progressing over time, and I'm trying to wrap them all up in the next couple of months. So that's where we're at. This is game number 2 of 6, Journey of a Special Average Balloon. This game actually released 10 years ago, which is absolutely bonkers to say. I've been making video games for 10 years. Yeah, so I started when I was about right at 20, and like I'm just over 30 now. So this is crazy. This is really, really old, and this released on the Nintendo Wii U, and a lot of people really enjoyed this game. And so I'm going to show you in today's devlog all of the things that I have done to make this game worthy of purchasing again on the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. I've actually changed, added, and put I want to say a crap ton of quality of life features into this game. I would have done a whole lot more, but I'm on a time crunch, and to be honest, this is as good as it gets. You know, I would without redoing the entire game. So we're on the title screen. We're just going to start fast and furious, and I'm going to start talking about all the different things that I've done. I would like to show Wii U footage in comparison, but I got to boot up my Wii U and see if I still have the original game on there. I think I should, you know, the eShop is closed, but I should be able to pull it back up. But in case I don't put it in the editing, I will give an audio overview speaking about what has changed. So originally, this title screen was pretty static. The Journey of a Special Average Balloon logo was still, and now it has an animation where it subtly floats up and down. But the main change you can see is these buttons. So we have like this really unique balloon animation of like stretching and pulling the balloons, because they're supposed to be balloons. And you can see the start, level select, multiplayer, they're kind of going in the emotion, but you can see all the ones that are not selected are bouncing left and right. The one that you have selected is rotating left and right and shrinking and growing. And then also you can see the background of each button turns white when you are highlighting it, so you can tell which one you're highlighting. But now there's like just some really lively animations here on this menu. I have the background music turned down a little too quiet, so I'm not sure if you can hear it, but also I've added a brand new sound effect to the menu, which actually did not exist in the original game. Also, this little star over here by the continue button, you can see that that was a symbol to let you know you've completed the main story, and when you beat the co-op story, you get another star by that. They used to be way bigger on the Wii U version and just kind of ugly, so I just shrunk them down. Another little detail to note. So let's move on to the level select. So this is pretty crazy because this is how the level select looked on the Wii U, but underneath level select it said tap to load a level, and everything was done via the Wii U gamepad. So I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna turn this down so we don't get overpowered. There we go. And so I had to write a brand new level select screen code controller here because this actually did not work. It was all based on, you know, touchscreen input. So now I have a new controller here that allows you to move all around the levels just like you would expect to be able to, and the level that you have selected will bounce and animate. The thumbnail will animate. And also for another visual cue, this is brand new for this version of the game, you can see there's a little green check mark in the corner of each thumbnail, and that appears when you beat the level. So you can see pretty quickly while on the level select screen if you've missed a level or you still need to complete one. This is also new. You can pick any level in any order now to go ahead and play instead of having them locked. The old art was pretty bad. So I got rid of that. So you can see continue, level select, multiplayer. We'll jump into the changes in all this stuff in a second. Let me go ahead and show you the game. So when you hit start, the intro story has been completely redone. This, I should try to show a comparison, but it would be too boring. This literally lasted like 2 to 3 minutes. It was so slow, so wordy. I broke it down and wrote it a little bit better. It's the exact same gist of the story explaining the game in a much more concise way. And instead of just rolling up like credits, there's now animations where the text flies in and flies out. This is already the end of it. This is the last bit, and then it zooms out and it will load the tutorial. You can also see there's a new loading screen with a little unused DLC image. That was the DLC image for the original game, and I put that as the loading screen now with a little animation. Got rid of some of the tutorial text on this screen just so, you know, I got rid of the Wii U stuff, and really, you know, it told you to press the left stick to move. That's so self-explanatory. Everyone uses the stick to move, so I just got rid of it. And you can see you can load back in. Another little things that's going on here. These are the world intro screens. When you enter a world, it'll say world 1 through 7. On the left, it will show you the challenge for that world. And then at the bottom, it says press X now instead of pressing A or whatever it was for the Wii U. But now you can see I have a subtle animation on the press X button. That was completely static on the Wii U version. So it's little things like that all over the place that improve the game. Another thing, when we're in the level, I had to redo the pause, because also pause and, you know, the game over as well, those were basically also touch screen controls. So now we have a button controls that you can take advantage of with the stick, and you can see there's a new animation that plays to highlight continue or quit to let you know what you're on. So we can quit. Let's go ahead and jump down here in some of the multiplayer. I redid this scene as well. Originally, it looked exactly like this. It just says Spike Chase and Survival, and they highlight black whenever you're highlighting them. Originally, both the description for Spike Chase and the description for Survival was on the screen on the left and right, and it was just a ton of words. So I got rid of that. I put them in the middle of the screen, and now it shows you the description of each mode based on which one you're selecting. So you can just read that one. And you can see we still have everything like the old days, but now it says press triangle and circle to exit, and you can change the color of your players, and you can jump into, let me see if I can, see if I got player 2 controllers. So this is actually already on the PlayStation, running it on the build that you guys will be playing. So let's go orange. We can ready up. You can see Spike. This is the versus mode. So player 1 is the balloon, and you try to run away from the spike, and then player 2 is the spike, and you try to pop the balloon, and if you pop the balloon, player 2 wins, and if the balloon survives, then player 1 wins. And you can see the longer you go on, the spike is really slow, but then you get these extra spike balls, and you can try to trap the balloon in the corner, and this is versus mode. Some new quality of life features. You couldn't pause in this before, and if you died, this is the craziest thing, if you died, you had to wait all 30 seconds out in order to see who won. You could not quit. So another quality of life feature there. It loads faster. It gives you like a couple of seconds to watch the balloon string float down, and then it will go to the end screen. Another thing, I think survival's the same way. You can pause that now as well and quit out. Co-op is the exact same way, so I can talk about a couple of things. Let me just mention it while we're here, because probably everyone who's watching this channel has never even played this game before, with the exception of some of our very, very original old fans who've been watching along all these years. So there's a versus mode, Spike Chase, where you have to try to pop each other. There's a survival mode. Let's pick some new colors here. Let's go pink. All right, and this one is basically where you just are working together, and the longer that time goes by, the more obstacles come your way, more birds fly across the screen, then arrows come across the screen, all sorts of crazy stuff. And then whoever pops first The other player can try to survive as long as they can, so you can try to see everything that appears. But then when player 2 dies, it will tell you which player wins. Whoever survived longer, player 2 won in that case. And there's a whole co-op mode as well. So let's switch up some colors here. Let's go gray and orange. This is pretty cool. So in co-op mode, each player has a coin. So there's the red coin for player 1 and blue coin for player 2, and you both collect your coins, and then you can go on to the next level. So there's a bunch of different multiplayer modes for this game. Like, you know, if you got a friend or home or a kid at home or something like that, these are very simple multiplayer modes that you can play together. And I fixed a couple of things. There was some glitches I found in this co-op mode, actually, that if you played co-op mode and then you died like this, and it kills player 2 for you, if you went and played survival mode right after that, it would kill the player immediately as soon as you started the mode until you hard reset the game. So that glitch is in the Wii U version, apparently, that I never found. I found all sorts of glitches and things like that when I was opening up the code, and I basically rewrote and fixed everything. So you grab this, and if you grab the coin, so now the level is still completable. If player 1 dies, that's fine, and then player 2 has to go get their coin. You grab this coin, and then boom, it loads into the next level. And you can see it's getting a little bit harder. There's now the fixed pause screen on the co-op as well, so you can jump out. So there's 2 multiplayer versus modes, basically spike chase or survival, and then there's a set of 5 co-op levels. Another set of new quality of life features on this is this menu screen the bonus menu was so ugly. I just put the text in the middle, and I put the clouds here, and then added sound effects and stuff like that. I did not change the My Balloon. This is one of the uglier parts of the game. The balloon skins are not my favorite. I probably, they would be a whole lot better today, but all the original skins are in the game, so you get to see how they looked originally. Some of them are pretty cool, and it still holds true if you change the skin on your balloon and you play the slingshot minigame. The minigame balloons will also change the skin, which is pretty cool. I did a lot to the slingshot game, so we'll go into that last. I'll show you challenges next. So the challenge menu, I completely redid this one just so it was a little bit more concise and looks better. Originally they were all like horizontal across the screen with very large trophies, 3D trophies. The 3D trophies are still in the game, but now they go on the right side. I haven't unlocked any of them for this run, so they're not appearing there, but they appear on the right, and they still spin and animate like they did in the original game. But now I basically made the text smaller and more readable, and you can see challenge 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and they correspond to each world. So the challenge screen, I think, looks a whole lot better than it did before. It was just kind of jumbled up, big paragraphs of text. Now the slingshot changed a lot of things here. So if you don't know, if you've never played the original game, once you go through like 1 or 2 worlds, there's a minigame slingshot game that appears, and it appears in between, like it appears 3 different times in the main game, and they're all pretty easy in the main game. It's just like a bonus, just to break up the gameplay. And then if you go to the bonus menu, you can play Slingshot Gallery for high scores, and you can actually change the difficulty level yourself here in this version. Well, you could do it in the Wii U version, but in the bonus menu, should I say. And what you had to do is like, only if you could pop all the balloons, you could end the level. But you couldn't pause and you couldn't skip it or anything like that. So like if you're kind of bored of the minigame, you don't want to play it, you're ready to keep playing the levels, I added a skip in there for like the main story. So like if you're playing the campaign levels and you say, I don't want to play the minigame now, you can just press the circle button to skip through it. And it also works when you're over here. There's no reason, I mean, if you're playing it in the bonus menu for fun, there's no reason to skip it, but you can anyways if you press the circle button. So you can see if you press easy, it's really easy. They're pretty slow. I also added a new sound effect that I created for the slingshot. When you sling the rock, it actually plays a new sound effect as well. So there's another little touch, and then you can see if you press circle, you can go ahead and jump straight into the score. And on the results screen, it will tell you how many balloons you popped and what difficulty is down in the corner. That's how it was on the Wii U version. But now, what else did I do to this? Oh yeah, another thing about this is I had to rewrite the code for this actually, because the way that this was coded originally on the Wii U, this actually didn't work anymore when we brought it into this new version of Unity. So I had to rewrite how the code worked for the slingshot itself and for the balloons to bounce off each other. And I basically rewrote it in where it looks and functions exactly the same as the original Wii U game. So yeah, pretty cool here. Just a mini game, and you can play and pop balloons and try to get your high score. You can pop all 7 of them in every level, and it will give you your score. So yeah, that's a couple of things I did. Redid the challenge menu, redid the slingshot, redid the bonus menu, redid the title screen, redid the level select, redid the game over and pause. And I think as far as the actual levels go, they're pretty much all exactly the same in terms of art and stuff. I cleaned up like a couple of things that I didn't like. I deleted some things out of like this desert level, but basically, you know, it wasn't in the scope of this project to redo all of the art. So, you know, they're all basically the original art. I mean, I absolutely love stuff like this, like the volcano. I really think it looks very good with the, you know, subtle embers, like ashes, like falling through the air as you lead into the volcano. And another thing about this game, you know, all of these levels, let's go to like this one, for instance. They all have like background flares. Like all this was like hand-drawn art 10 years ago that we just did in Photoshop. And if you can see, like the moon is glowing and like there's like the northern lights kind of thing going on in the background. If you look really closely, they're like animating in and out. Like everything for all of these levels was drawn by hand, multiple like layers of backgrounds basically, and then they're just like coded to like animate in and out on top of each other in order to, you know, make the world feel alive. And you can see it really easy, you know, obviously like in these first couple of levels, because you see the clouds, they're moving. There's clouds, but then like if you like subtly look at the background, like the sun has a flare and it like lights up and like glows, but it's like very, very subtle. So it's like not like, you know, really in your face that the background is moving. And it's just different things like that we did to make the, you know, this pixel art basically feel alive. I think the coolest levels are probably these volcano levels, because this is like, not only do you have the, you know, the ashes falling and these little, you know, volcanic embers like animating back and forth, which they're like on a random cycle using math, so it looks different every time. We also have these random lightning strikes, which like change the lighting in the background. And also on top of that, I think there's a glow here on the actual volcano. The lava is like glowing on and off, animating on and off, and you can see the lightning strikes. Each one is like hand drawn to where it changes the entire background and the volcano itself. Like it's actually lighting the volcano up, which, you know, to me, super impressive. The artist on this game, one of my friends that made this game with me originally, super talented. Even 10 years ago, unbelievably talented when we were first getting started in game development. So yeah, just really looking forward to this game. Tons of different things. You got your 21 main levels, you got 3 multiplayer modes, and you got bonus modes with mini games, and you can change the skins and all that kind of stuff. So that is Journey of a Special Average Balloon. The Wii U game returns with cleaned up bugs, bug fixes, quality of life fixes, new animations, new different things like that. Everything runs smoother, looks better, and the game is here. I hope you guys are looking forward to playing it pretty soon. Alrighty guys, I need to give a huge shout out to everybody who supports TreeFall Studios on patreon.com. I gotta give a personal shout out to Mandy, Shark and Minnow, Space My Name, Thomas Stewart, Mr. Troy, Jamil DeBeer, and Joe Nana. Thank you guys for what you do for TreeFall Studios on patreon.com. Hope you guys are looking forward to seeing Journey of Special Average Balloon launch soon. It's going to come out mid-September. I will have a release date and a new trailer for you guys coming your way soon. And soon after that, we will be having the next 4 games in a row. Expect more devlogs, more clips, some YouTube shorts coming your way, tons of games, some live streams coming up. This is the season of TreeFall Studios. I hope you guys are looking forward and having fun joining me along on this crazy ride. Alrighty guys, I'll catch you in the next video.